So there's back and forth between the FBI and Congress over a whistleblower who put forward that there was a $5 million bribery scheme between Ukrainian officials and Joe Biden when he was vice president. Remember, the House Oversight Committee oversees the federal government. They have a right to basically everything because they fund the federal government. They are the ones that write the check to keep the FBI open. So when they ask for information, usually they are supposed to get it unless there is an ongoing investigation. Now they are threatening Logan, and we saw this a lot during the Obama years. Finally, Republicans saying it's not necessarily impeachment, but we are going to hold you in contempt, Christopher Wray, which can be prosecuted in court. We don't think Merrick Garland would do that, but it's kind of the next step below impeaching a cabinet member.
If you know that there's a good chance that he won't be, they won't do anything about this, do the American people see this as a waste of time, or should they see this actually as some accountability being held?
You're only going to do this if he's ignoring the committee, which he can't do. He could even start coming back and forth with parts of the 1023 form, heavily redacted, and then start a negotiation with the committee instead of just ignoring them, which is what he is doing right now, because he must believe he's got the backing of the White House, obviously, and DOJ to do just that, because they don't want this form out there. They don't want to know whether or not the FBI investigated these allegations that Joe Biden accepted a $5 million bribe. And this all dates back to, the tip is dated back to June 30th of 2020. Ukrainian officials, this is interesting just to point out, on June 13th of 2020, okay, so 7 days before this informant tip is dated that Joe Biden was bribed with $5 million, and there's a $5 million bribery scheme when he was vice president. 7 days before that, a week before that in Kyiv, there was a press conference where Ukrainian officials showed $5 million in cash, allegedly offered as a bribe to end what? The investigation into the natural gas company Burisma and its founder, Mykola Zolochevsky, who was on the board of Burisma until 2019 and certainly wouldn't want them to be investigated by Ukrainian prosecutors. Hunter Biden.
So I'm a bit sick of talking about Hunter Biden because it does feel like we're on repeat. It feels like there's just another big piece of the puzzle happens, but again, there's not really progress, and that's maybe why you get frustrated. I think that's probably why you're frustrated as one of our listeners going, okay, you've revealed more. Now you've revealed more. Now you've revealed more. When will you have some sort of reckoning if all of this is now becoming public record?
There's two kinds of way to have reckoning. Elections, and don't tell me, we can't win because they're rigged. We need to do, and I'm finally starting to see Republicans say it. Sean Hannity said it, and he's totally right. We need, if your state allows ballot harvesting, we need to do it. If your state allows early voting, we need to do it without an excuse. If your state sends out absentee ballots to everybody or anybody who wants to request one, we should have an absentee ballot chase program where we track those and do it. We need to use the full extent of the law, not anything illegal, but don't act like we're too good to use the legal methods available to win elections. Then number two is you put in a leader who is going to carry out that reckoning and draining the swamp.